wrapper classes. We know in the object-oriented programming language, everything exists in the form of classes and objects. But the primitive data types are not as objects because they have defined in the language itself. Sometimes we may require to convert primitive data types into objects. For this purpose, we can use wrapper classes. So, wrapper classes are used when we require to convert primitive data types into objects. Wrapper class wraps the data type and gives it the appearance of an object. We know that we have 8 primitive data types. For all the primitive data types, we have corresponding wrapper classes. Let us see the corresponding wrapper classes. For byte data type, we have wrapper class byte, but B letter will be capital. Same like that for short with capital S. For int, we have fully the word integer with capital I. For long, capital L long. For float, capital F float. For double, capital D double. And for character, we have fully the word character with capital C. Boolean type, we have capital B Boolean. Wrapper classes are in java.lang package. So we already know java.lang package is a default package. We don't need to import it. So for byte, we have java.lang.byte, and then for short, java.lang.short, and so on. Let us see the method with the example. For integer, we have integer.parseInt and the value of the string. Example, if n is the variable and then integer.parseInt of 36. So here 36 an object which is a string object. This will be converted into integer value. Then we will be able to perform some operations. Same like that, integer dot value of that string will convert that into integer value. If it is an integer, then we can convert into string integer dot toString of the value of integer. So it get converted into string. Same like that we have for all other data types also. Here we will see mainly integer and character type. So in character type we have few things which are more important in programming. If we need to convert a small letter into capital letter, then we may use this character dot to uppercase of that character. So here for example I have given small a, this will be converted into capital A. Same like that character dot to lowercase of that character, so that is being converted into lowercase. So output of these two functions are character type, but all other are Boolean type. See, character dot is uppercase, so that means it is like a question. We can just remember like that. So it says whether it is uppercase or lowercase. That means is uppercase means if it is true it will say true, otherwise it is going to give false. So here I have given is uppercase of R. So R small r which I have given the value is not capital letter, so it gives false. Same like that character dot is uppercase, that is H I have given here, it is true, it is H is uppercase, so it is true. Same like that whether it is letter or digit also we can get character dot is letter, that means it will give whether it is true or false. So J I have given which is true, and then if I give digit, then the 5 is a digit, so again it says true. Let us have an example program. Class wrapper I will create the variables needed, int number, and then character type C I create, then boolean type B to give the output. So let me have number is equal to integer dot parse int, that is I with capital, and then I give here just 23. So the value which I have given inside the quotation will be a string type, isn't it? So that will be converted into number type, which is integer type. So just let me print this system.out.println of string to number we have converted. Just for reference I am giving this. So plus the variable is number. I create a string variable string s to convert integer to string. So I give integer dot to string of, so the value which I give may be just 45, it get converted into string type. So let me print this system.out.println of, here I am going to print number to string plus, that is yes. I have already mentioned that is declared C as a character type. Let me give some value for it. C is equal to, just I give I. So the character type always we mention inside the single quotation. So C is equal to character dot to upper case of C. So the C's value is I, that is going to be converted into capital I. Let me print after converting it system.out.println of upper case of I plus, that is C. Here C's value is been changed to uppercase of that. Again I just change the value of C here. C is equal to I just give capital M here, capital M, and then let me change this. C is equal to character dot to lower case of C. So let me print again, just copy this. This is lower case of M I have given there, M is C. Now let me check whether it is uppercase or lowercase. So we have already given boolean data type. So B is equal to the value of C, let it be like that. The output value of this function going to be boolean type. So B is equal to character dot is uppercase of C, system.out.println of. So let me just give a reference here, whether M is uppercase plus C. Same like that, let me change this. B is equal to character dot is lowercase of C system dot out dot print line of by that M is lowercase plus C. Same like that, let us check whether digit or not. So B is equal to character dot is digit, the value that is C. So whether M is digit or not, it will say. Whether M is digit. Let us also check whether it is letter. Letter plus we supposed to give B, so we have changed that value, right, as B boolean. So we supposed to give for all these B. Let us change this B. So this is lowercase of M is going to be C, both are C, these are all B. Okay, here we have to change this semicolon. Okay, let us compile this. No syntax error. So string to number, number to string. This value we cannot identify whether it is string or number. In case of number, we will be able to make operations like addition, subtraction and all. String we can just concat. Uppercase of I is capital I, lowercase of M is small m. Whether M is uppercase, false. See, the last value it is changed already, capital M to small m, so it is given as false. Then where it is lowercase, it is true, because we have already changed the value of C there as small m, so that is true. So whether M is digit, it is false. Whether M is letter, true.
Autoboxing and Autounboxing. Automatic conversion of a primitive value into an object of the corresponding wrapper class is referred as autoboxing. Similar way, but in opposite, conversion of an object into its corresponding primitive data type is referred as autounboxing. Let us understand with few examples. Now I initialize a variable of integer data type called age, having value 16. This is ordinary primitive data type. Now if I want to convert this into an object which is corresponding to its wrapper class, we know now what is wrapper class. Corresponding wrapper class is integer I capital. Integer. Now I give the object name. Let me have obj age is equal to new integer of age. So the primitive data type, here it is getting converted into its object. This is called boxing. Let us check by printing it. I say here object, just for reference, plus object age, obj age. You can see the object is printed here. Now let me tell you what is autoboxing. Instead of giving the new keyword and then integer of age, we directly say here as age. So this statement is taken care by the compiler. Automatically it is being done. So it is converted into its object called obj age of its corresponding wrapper class integer. This is autoboxing. Let us run this also. You can see the second time the output has come. Now let us understand what is unboxing. Unboxing is nothing but again converting this object into its ordinary primitive data type. So let me give int. Now I use some other variable, say a is equal to obj age. See, this is an object. That object is being converted into ordinary data type. So this is auto unboxing. Let me print this. This is unboxing A. You could see that unboxing. You may have a question, what is the need of this? As object oriented programming, everything resides as object and class. So even you store the primitive data type, it is automatically converted or wrapped into its object. You may have some situation in advanced programming where you need all the data as object, not as primitive data type. So that is the reason why concept of boxing and auto unboxing is introduced in Java. Sometimes we need to convert one data type into another data type, right? For example, integer to string. At that time, the object only will be helpful. See, let us check. I am trying to convert string str is equal to obj age dot to string. Okay, now this will be converted as string. Now let me print this. So I will be printing here string. You could see that it is printed 16. That is a string. Now if this is not an object, okay, so let us give a or age. Let me give age itself. I am trying to convert this age, that is primitive data type, to string. Will it accept? See, that is an error. So this is the purpose of having the object.
How we can say class as user defined data type? We know Java provides 8 primitive data types. These are fundamental data types. Java also allows to create own data types using primitive data types, and these are known as composite data types. As composite data types are defined by user, these are also called user-defined data types. Creating user-defined data types. Sometimes some logically related elements needed to be used under a single unit. To handle and serve to such situations, we create own data type through classes. For example, we may need to have the following data of an cuboid. It may have length, breadth and height. Let us consider class called volume. Here instance variable L, B and H are available. Here is an constructor without any parameter, that is default constructor is available. The values of I, B and H are initialized as default values. Next, one more constructor is there with parameter, that is all three are integer type, length, breadth and height. Here L, B and H are initialized. Once we create volume of, that becomes a composite data type. Object of this can be declared whenever is needed. There may be some more method and then main method also. Here another statement we can see which creates an object or instance called V. And then some more statements may be there and then class get closed. Creating objects. We know a class provides the blueprint for objects. Creating object has three parts. First one is declaration. Declaration declares a variable with a name referring an object of the program, and this will be left side of the assignment operator. For example, volume V. Here V is an object of class called volume. The next one is instantiation. Right side to the assignment operator, new operator is used to create object and allocate space for the object. For example, new volume of. Creating object is creating instance of a class. So it is named as instantiating. The third step is initialization. New operator is followed by a call to a constructor. This initializes the attributes of the new object. For example, V is equal to new volume of. Name of the class and the constructor are same. Here it is volume. We combine this and then we write volume V is equal to new volume of and then we terminate. Let us now learn how to use this object to access variables and functions. To access the variable of an object or to call function, we can use dot operator, that is a dot. Syntax to access variable is object name dot variable name and then we terminate. Example, V is the object name and then dot L is the variable name. We terminate this. Syntax to call the function. Object name dot function name and then if any parameters are available will be given inside the brackets and then we terminate. For example, V dot display of and then we terminate. As there is no parameter, it is empty here. Let us learn how to create objects, access variables and functions through the object using a program. I create a class, user defined class. Class UDC. I create class variables static int L, B, H and also VOL. Now public void value of a method I create here and then here I pass reference data type. So I will be giving UDC space, I give RD. So now I can initialize the variable using rd dot l is equal to 4, rd dot b is equal to 3, rd dot h is equal to 2. Then now I create one more method, public void calc. Before calculating, I need the values of variables. To get the variable values, I will create the object and I will call the method value udc rd is equal to new udc of. Now I will call it value of rd here. After calling, I can just calculate the volume. VOL is equal to length into breadth into height. Now I will have a method void display of. Here I will simply print the volume system.out.println of volume of cuboid is equal to plus VOL. Now I will create a main method, public static void main of string of arguments. So again I have to create a object and call other two methods. So udc I give obj is equal to new udc of obj dot calc of obj dot display of. Let us compile. No syntax error. We'll run this. So you can see volume of cuboid 24 is displayed. Class as user defined data type now. A class is a collection of objects we already know now that contains a set of data items and related functions. Therefore, we can say that a class is a data type that creates its object. Classes are defined by the user, where programmer can declare certain characteristics and behavior. So we can say that a class is a user defined data type of a composite data type. Let us see the difference between primitive and user defined data types. Primitive data types are inbuilt in Java. User defined data types are created by user. Primitive data types can hold single value. User defined data types can hold set of values. Primitive data types are available in all parts of Java program. Here, the availability of user defined data type will be upon their scope. Size of primitive data types are fixed. The size of user defined data types depend on their constituent members. Encapsulation and access specifiers. We know two main things which are in the class are data members, which contains informations, and functions or methods that performs operations. Sometimes we may need to access or manipulate the data inside the class. There may be unauthorized access and misuse also then. To keep it safe from unauthorized access, Java uses mechanism of binding both data members and functions called encapsulation. Encapsulation ensures that a user cannot access the data of an application without using its functions. So, encapsulation is defined as the wrapping up of data under a single unit. It is the mechanism that binds together code and the data it manipulates. As per the requirement, variables and functions of a class can be made to be hidden from other classes. Therefore, this is also known as data hiding. To remember encapsulation, we can think of capsule where data variables and methods are wrapped as a class. Let us know how to achieve encapsulation. To restrict the unauthorized access, Java has three keywords called access specifiers. First one is public, next is protected and private. While declaring data members, any one of these keywords is specified with data members or method prototype. Let us learn the access level of these access specifiers. If public is given as access specifier, then it is accessible by any class. It may be inside the package or even outside the package, subclass or class of other package. If protected is indicated, it may have access inside the package and also outside the package that inherit the class. If private is given, then it can be accessed only within the class. Even in the same package, other class also won't be able to access this and not even by inheritors. When we don't give any access specifier, then it becomes public within a package. That means it cannot be accessed outside the package, and this is defined as default. If we need an example for encapsulation, we can consider this. An employee may have access to know his salary, but he cannot change the salary. No, management only can have an authorization to change the salary of that employee. So where the method display is there, it may have public access specifier so that any one of the employee can see the salary part. But access to data members and function cannot be given as public, it can be as private, so that management only will have the authorization to change the salary of that employee. I will demonstrate encapsulation using program which we have already done earlier. I will give just few examples. We learned packages in our 23rd video. So the basic operation was a package which I created. Then here is a class which I called a class from this package. That is outside of this package, this class is available. Let us check this. See here there are two classes inside this package. One is called sum. So here I have calculated sum of two variables and printed. Here you can see I have given public as the access specifier. Then if we see this diff, so here also I have given public as the access specifier. Let us come out of this. So here I have a class called import bopack where I have called the sum.main and diff.main which is inside that basic operation package. As sum and diff both are having public as access specifier, we can call that outside the package. So we can run this and check. So sum is also given, difference is also given here. So here 45 plus 55 was the argument, here 83 and 78, it gave the difference. Let us once again go to the package. Now here in the class called diff, I will call the sum. So that is sum dot main was the method, and then I am giving the parameter value. For example, I give 6 and 7. I will compile this. See, there is no syntax error because the sum was having public one, and then this is inside the package. Let us run this. So for difference I am giving 100, and 150. So it will show difference as 50, and the sum it will go and run from there. So it will give the result. So it has given the result, sum is 13. So we can see if public is given as access specifier, it can be accessed from anywhere. Now I will change this access specifier, this public, into protected. So let me compile this. So you could see here error found in class. So let us see what is the error. So modifier protected not allowed here. So now let us do without this. So that will becomes default here. I have not specified any public or private or protected. So compile this, no syntax error. So I have already in difference I have called it. So it is here, you can see there. Will it work or not? It will work because it is in the same package. So I give 200, 100. So the difference is 100, sum is 13. Now let us go outside the package. Then I will run this now. You can see here it shows a error because when we don't specify anything, that becomes default. It will be available only in the package, not outside the package. So let us close this. Now I will have a subclass here. I'll create class product extends sum. So extends is a keyword which is used to inherit the property of the main class. So I will write now public static void pro I give, and then I give int x comma int y. Now I will have s is equal to x into y. So I wanted to use the variable s which is in the sum class. So I will give as a class variable here static int s. As the functions are static, I have given as static variable here. So let us compile this. So no syntax error. So the variable which is given in the main class could be accessed in derived class. Now let us change this into private. Let us see which is outside the class. So you can see that it is showing an error message. So you can see main int comma int has private access in basic operation dot sum. So we won't be able to access sum here. Even in a same package from another class, we won't be able to access it. Students, I hope now it is very clear how this public, protected and private access specifier works. Here public doesn't have any restriction. The private is fully restricted. It is available only within the class. When we don't give anything as an access specifier and then only inside the package, it acts like a public. Scope and visibility of variables. The scope of variable refers in which part of program the variable can be used. Visibility of variables in a program depends on the type of variables we use. So there are three types of variables available: class variables, instance variables and local variables, that is including parameters. Let us see what is class variables. Variables that declared inside the class and outside all the blocks and also mentioned as static are called class variables. These are visible in any part of the class. I will explain through a simple program. So I am creating a class called basic calc. I will import java.util.scanner class basic calc. Class variables are declared inside the class but outside the methods or any block. It is also mentioned as static. So I will give static int x comma y, two numbers I take and then sum I calculate and then also product I calculate. So now we can declare the method public static void input of IQ. So I will take input for x and y. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner of system.in. System.out.println of I say enter first number. For that I take x is equal to sc dot next int of. Then again I need to take the second number. I copy and paste it here. I make it this as y and then this as second number. So now we have taken the input. Let me create one more method called calc of or sum we will do. Void sum of. So here simply I create sum of two numbers. S is equal to x plus y. So now I wanted to print this. Now I will create one more method void pro of. So now I give p is equal to x into y. Then I also print this. So I am giving here product. Then here it has p. Now I will create a main method. I wanted to call all the methods. For that I need to create a object. The class name is basic calc. Obj I give as a object name is equal to new basic calc of. Then now the object name, there is obj dot input of. Then obj dot sum of. Obj dot pro of. So let me compile this. Enter first number 8723. So you can see the result is there. So now it is clear that when we give as a class variable, it can be in any part of the program. So x is there in this method and y also there. This s is in some method, p is in some other method. So here you can see this is a static method, these two are not static method. Again here main method is static method. So let us read once again. Variables that declared inside the class and outside all the blocks, and also mentioned as static. So all this we have done. Then it is visible any part of the program. Next, instance variable. Variables that declared inside a class and outside all the methods and blocks is called as an instance variable. So here the difference is we are not giving as static. Scope of an instance variable is throughout the class except in static methods. So let us see this. So now I have static here. I just remove this static here. Let me compile. So you can see errors found in the class. Let us see what and all the error. So non-static variable x cannot be referenced from a static context. And the next one again y also the same way. Here s is there. This is in the non-static method. So it can allow. Same like that the p also can be allowed in this method, which is non-static method. So here we are not using any variables. Directly we have printed here itself. So if we remove this static from this method, then we can compile this, no syntax error. So now this will run without a problem. So let us run this one. First number, then second number. So we get the result here. So the variable which is inside the class but outside the blocks without static, then it is called instance variable. Next one, local variables. All other variables which are not instance and class variables are treated as local variables, including the parameters. Scope of a local variable is until the control leaves the block in which it is declared. If we declare a variable inside the method, it will not be available in other methods. If there are some blocks inside the block, if we declare, then interior blocks are not visible outside. If we have variable outside the blocks, the interior blocks can have the variable. So let us go back to the program. Now what I do, I remove this x and y from here. Then I make it inside this method, int x comma y. See here it is inside this input of. So you can see here there is no error in this block. So here already it is showing as an error here, because x and y is outside this method. So that is in another method. Cannot find symbol variable y, even cannot find symbol variable x. Even here in the next method also we won't be able to get the variable. So whenever we use many methods where we are using common variables, then it should be static variable, that is a class variable inside the class, but before all the methods itself we will declare. So that will be the best one. In case if we have these two in input itself, so I will cancel this method itself. I delete the method and then put it inside this. Here s is equal to x plus y also been calculated. Here itself it is printed. So there won't be any problem, because s and p are instance variable here. It can be allowed inside this input of, and then x and y are local variables. So let us have this as a comment line. I just hide this. So now compile, there won't be any problem, it will print the sum of that number. So first number is 5, second number is 10. So 15 is the answer here. Now I will show how it works inside the blocks and outside the blocks. For that, in this method itself, I create a for loop. For I say x is equal to 5, then x is lesser than or equal to 10, x plus plus. Now simply I print x. X. So that is in print line, next line it will print. We have already declared x inside the method, so it is taking for this for loop. Now compile this, there won't be any syntax error. In case I declare here one more int m, then m is equal to m plus 1. So I will have m as 25, just for example. See, I come out of this for loop and I say system dot out dot print line of I give m. See, inner loop I have declared m. It is outside the loop. So here it will not work. So interior variables will not work outside the block of the code. Compile. So cannot find symbol variable m. But at the same time, x is in the method. It is used inside that for loop. So that is inner block. So it is available here. So now let us see as a parameter. So here I will not have this import statement. Then I will not have all these. Int x, comma, int y. So I have given s is equal to x plus y. So let us not have this for loop and all. So this is a very simple one. S is equal to x plus y will be done without any error. No error here. So let us have this now. So I delete this. Then I remove this also. So x and y are parameter here. It is the next method which is called this x and y. See here you can see cannot find symbol variable y. So the parameter also a local variable only. All other variables which are not instance and class variables are treated as local variables, including parameters. Scope of a variable is until the control leaves the block in which it is declared. Variables declared in interior blocks are not visible outside of that block. Variables declared in exterior blocks are visible to the interior blocks.
String handling. Let us now see string class. Creating string. A string is a reference data type. So the variable s I have taken. String s is equal to keyboard inside the double quotation and I terminate. So this is the way of initializing the string variable. String object. String str, here str is the object name, that is a valid identifier, can be anything. Equal to new keyword we use and then string of mouse I have given inside the double quotation where the mouse is stored in the string object called str. Next, string buffer class. Creating string buffer object. String buffer sb1 is equal to new string buffer of.
Here SB1 string buffer object is been created. Nothing will be stored in this. Next, string buffer SB2 is equal to new string buffer of joystick I have given in the double quotation, where in the SB2 object joystick is been stored. The third way, SB3 is equal to new string buffer of 20. Here 20 is the integer number. It creates an object where it can store 20 characters. In Java, there are many functions for the string. Let us see one by one. The function here, length of. So what will be the output data type? Always it will be integer. The length says how many characters are available in the string, including the special character or space. So here output data type is int. For example, I have given here key chain. There is a space between key and chain, which is in the double quotation dot length of. So here it will count all the characters available in it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 will be the output. Next, to uppercase of. Here the output data type will be string only. The function example here, drive dot to uppercase of. See here D is already there, capital. RIVE is in small letter. So which are all in small going to be converted into uppercase. So then the output will be DRIVE in all in capital letters. Next, to lowercase of. The output of this also be string type. For example, I have taken monitor here, to lowercase of. It will be giving this monitor in the lowercase. The next one, replace of old character dot new character. That means we are going to give a character which is available in the string, and then we are going to change into the new character which we want to replace. So again the output data type will be string itself. Here for example, I have given store dot replace O, comma A. See, O is a letter here, that is a character, so it is been in single quotation. Same like that, A is also given in the single quotation. So the output will be O is being replaced with A, so it will be star. Next, trim of. Here the output data type again is string type. For example, I have given some space, I love Java, then again some more space. What it does, it will cut all the extra spaces before and after the string. So that means it starts from I and then it ends with A. The extra space before and after the string going to be trimmed. Next, concat of. Concat is going to be string type output. Here for example, key which is given inside the double quotation, that is first string, and then concat of board I have given again in the double quotation. Here these two are going to be added together, which is going to display nearby. So keyboard will be the output. Then value of. So this is also going to be string type. The function here example, string dot value of 32. So 32 is a integer number here. Please note that O is capital, value all in small, and then O is capital, F is in small letter. So the integer value going to be converted into string value, that is just 32 as the object here. There are many string functions. In this class we will see only this much. We will continue that in the next class. Now I will demonstrate all these string functions through a Java program. String str is equal to, I just give here mirror. Let me take a length of this. So I need a variable, integer variable. So that is int L is equal to str dot length of. So let me print this. Plus L. Sorry, L. Now let me also convert into uppercase. So I can store this in the new variable after converting into uppercase, otherwise directly I can print. So let me assign to a new variable string str2 I give is equal to str dot to u is in capital upper and then case c is in capital. So now str2 becomes uppercase of mirror. Let me print this also. In uppercase. This is just for reference I am giving. So that is str2. After converting into uppercase, it is going to print. Let me convert one more string into lowercase. System dot out dot print line of, I am just giving here, this is my book dot to lowercase of, L should be capital, then C should be capital, lowercase of. So now this is going to convert this is my book into lowercase. Here this is in small, all other things are in capital. So let us compile, then run this. So you can see here length of the string is 6 in uppercase. So mirror became in uppercase. This is my book. So this was already in the small letters, all others were in big letters, so it has been converted into small letters. The next we are going to see here is replace of. So let us replace any of the string with the other letter. What I will do here, system dot out dot print line of, I will give here snow dot replace of a old character to be given here. Yes, I change this here in single quote yes, and then comma, instead of that I change it to K, so capital K. So now the S letter is being changed into K, so it is going to be printed. We don't need all these things. Let me remove this. So compile this. So you can see there SNOW become KNOW. So let us learn about trim function now. I will give here string str is equal to, with some space I give snow. Now system dot out dot print line of, I am going to print str. Next let me take this without space, that is trimming it. I paste that same here, then here I give dot trim of. So what it will do, first it is going to print the original string here with the space, and the next it is going to print after trimming it. If I give space after this, we can't understand, but we can understand whether there is space previous to the string or not. Let us compile this. So you can see that the extra space here is been cut. Let us give a lengthy string. Snow is cool. So it is going to cut only the space after and before, not which is in between. So in between whatever is there, it is going to stay like that. Next let us see the concat function. I will add one more string with the str. So let me do like this, system dot out dot print line of,
str dot concat with if we take it in the hand. Let me cut this. I will take this also. So with this str1 it is going to add if we take it in the hand. Compile this. So snow is cool if we take it in the hand. It is displayed together. Now let us learn value of function. Let me take int n is equal to 45. So let me print this system.out.println of after converting into string. So that is string dot value of, that is n. Now this is going to be converted into string value. It is not going to be integer value. How we can know this? After converting this, we won't be able to add any number with this. For example, I add just 10 with this. If it is a number, then it is going to be 55. If it is been converted into string, 10 is going to appear nearby. Let us compile and check. See here, it is been converted into string, so it is been displayed and the nearby 10 is been displayed.
Index number of a string. Each character in a string will have its index number. So here I have given exhibition. E is having 0 as index number. So always the index number starts with 0 and then it will keep on continuing until the last character. So here last character we have 9 as the index number. If we see the length of this is going to be 10. So the last index of the character is going to be 1 lesser than the total length of the string. So we can say index of last character is equal to length of string minus 1. In case if we see the position of the character, it is going to be 1 more than the index number. So that is, for example, if we take this B here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the 5th character in the string, but it will have 4 as index. So if we wanted to know the position, what we do? We can add 1 with the index. So position of the character is equal to index of the character plus 1. Here we have index of. So it is going to give the index of particular character. Output will be integer type. For example, I have application.index of p. So it is going to give the index of p. So that is the first occurrence of p, it is going to be displayed. So it will be 1. So that is 0 and then 1. Next we have last index of. So here again the index is going to be integer data type. Then same application we say application.last index of p. Here the last occurrence of p is going to be taken. So it is going to be this p. So that is 0, 1, 2. So 2 is going to be the output. Next we are having character at. So we will give the index number. Output is going to be character type. So for example, I have computer dot character at 6. So the index which we are going to give is inside the bracket here. So it will take the character at index 6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So E is going to be the output. Next we have ends with. So it is going to check whether the string ends with the particular string. So output data type is going to be true or false. So that is Boolean. So phone dot ends with O. So it is going to be false. Next I have starts with. So again it is going to say whether it is true or not. So again Boolean data type. Cell dot starts with C, which is given inside the quotation here. So it is true. C is right one. So next we are having equals. This will check whether given strings, two strings are equal or not, and then give the output as true or false. So again it is going to be Boolean data type. So here we give first string here dot equals of the second string inside the bracket. So it is false because pen is not equal to capital pen. Here next we have equals ignore case of. It is going to check whether both the strings given are equal or not by ignoring the case, whether it is in uppercase or lower case, it is going to ignore. So it is Boolean type again, pen dot equals ignore case of pen. So both are equal if you ignore the case. So it is going to be true. We have few more functions. We will see that in the next class. Let us know how to run all these using a program. I will create the class. I will copy the codes from the previous one. Let me copy all these codes. Then change the name of the class. Instead of number, we are going to have a string. Enter a string. So string str is equal to br dot read line of. We are going to get the index of a letter. So we need integer variable int I is equal to. So here string variable str dot index of. So let us give just letter O. Let us print this. Let us close the method, close the class. Compile this. No syntax error. Let us run this. So I say here book. So index of O, that is first occurrence of O. So it is going to be 1, 0 and 1. Let us check the last index. So let us copy again the same code. Then modify this. I am going to have here last index. So last index of O. So let me change here last index. Last index of letter O. It is going to be, it should be last index. Then we are going to print also last index. I will give computer application. So you can see index of O is 1 from the beginning. The last index of O is 18. Now let us delete all these. We will see character function. For that we need character data type output. So character C is equal to str dot character at, maybe just I am giving 6. So it is going to give the character at index 6. Let us print this. I give book shelf. So character at index 6 is E. Next we will see starts with and ends with. So for that we need Boolean data type. So we will change here Boolean. For starts with s I give s is equal to str dot starts, w is in capital, with, so we are giving here inside the double quotation, so I just give here a, and then Boolean ends with str dot ends, let me give r. So let me change this. Yes, and then same we will just copy here, whether ends with, then whether it is with r, then this is e. Compile this. I say number, so whether starts with a false, whether ends with r, it is true. Here not only a single character, we can give a word also, or a string we can give. If the same string occurs, then it will say whether it starts, whether it ends. For example, let me give here function. Here I give Java. So let us change here also, and here Java. Compile this. I give string function. So you can see starts with function false, but ends with Java, it is true. Next we are going to learn equals and equals ignore case of. So I will copy this again. Let me have here another string. So here str1. Now I have taken two string type. Let me check. Boolean check is equal to str dot equals of, I am giving here str1. The next Boolean checks ignoring case, str dot ignore case of, that is str1. So now it is going to check whether str1, whatever we have given, whether it is equal to the next string which is given by the user. Same like that, after ignoring the case, it is going to check. Let us print the result. So let me copy this and change for ignore case, whether both the strings are equal. That is check ICSE. No syntax error. Enter the string pencil, another string pen in small, then CIL in capital. So whether both the strings are equal, false. Whether both the strings are equal after ignoring the case, it is true. So it ignored whether capital R in small. Substring and CompareTo functions we are going to see. Substring will accept two integer arguments or a single integer argument. Integer value they are given is a index number. Here it accepts one single integer value, that is index number of the character present in the string. This is taken as starting index and the remaining all the index characters will get displayed. So the output data type will be string type. For example, we have cupboard dot substring of 3. Here we have 0, 1, 2 and then 3 is the argument given. So from starting 3, that is B, remaining everything it is going to be taken. So output here will be board. Next we have here two integer argument, that is two index number. This is a starting index number and this is ending index number. So again output type is going to be string type. For example, if we take cupboard dot substring of 0, 3. So the starting is 0. So the 3 is not included in the output. So it is going to take 0, 1 and 2. So it will have 0, C, U, P. P is 2. B, that is 3 is excluded here. So you will have output as CUP. First let us check this through a program and then we will learn CompareTo function. These codes already you know. I have taken input from the user. The variable name given to the string is S1. So I am going to take the output. I give string S2 is equal to, so the string value, that is S1 given by the user, dot substring of the value I give, for example I give 5, then I terminate. So I will print this. So that is S2. Now let us consider string S3 is equal to S1 dot substring of 6, 9. So let me print this again. Six and till 9 is S3 is the answer. So I give here dictionary. So what is going to be the output? We have given substring as 5 here. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the fifth index starts from O. So ONARY is going to be the first output and the next output going to be 6 to 9. So it is going to be NAR. So Y is 9, that is excluded. Before learning CompareTo, let us learn about ASCII code of characters. CompareTo function going to compare two strings using ASCII value of the character. So here we have the ASCII value of each character from 0 to 9. 0, 48 is the ASCII value, for 1 49 and then so on. So for 9 it is 57. Then for capital A it starts from 65, 66, 67 like that, and then up to Z it is 90. Same like that, a small letter A has 97 as its value, and then Z has 122 as its value. CompareTo function going to compare two strings lexicographically. That means as in the dictionary it is going to compare. So here we have CompareTo, T is in capital here. The output is going to be integer type after comparing. This function not only compares lexicographically but also compares the length of the string. I will explain with some examples. Here we give the first string dot compare to the second string inside the bracket. For example, I have mouse is the first string value dot compare to the second string value here as book. Here see the first letter of this is M and the first letter is B here. So the ASCII value of M is 109 and ASCII value of B is 98. So the difference between these going to be given. So that is 109 minus 98 is going to be 11. In case here it is book and here it is mouse, it is going to do 98 minus 109. So that is going to be minus 11. The next example here, I have money bag and then money purse. So as per the dictionary, money until that both are same. So B here it starts a different letter, here it is P is different letter. So it is going to consider the ASCII value of B minus ASCII value of P. So here B has 98 as its value, P has 112 as its value. So 98 minus 112 is minus 14. Next here I have pencil dot compare to pen. So it is going to compare these two. See here pen is already there in the pencil. Later whatever the character is available in pencil is not there here. It is going to compare the length. So that is pencil's length is 6 and the pen length is 3. So 6 minus 3, it is going to be 3 is the output. Next I have here record compare to record. So both are same, the output is going to be 0. Let us do all these through a program. Let me delete all these. So here I will change as user input, that is br dot read line of. So here I have two inputs. Before this I will prompt. So enter another string. So user gives S1 as one string and S2 as other string. I am just comparing. Directly I give in the printing statement. So that is I am giving here S1 dot compare to, that is S2. Let us compile this. No syntax error. As we have seen in the example, I give mouse, then book. So 11 was the answer there, you got this. Next let me give the other type of input. Let me give money bag, then money purse. So you can see minus 14 as we have seen in the example. So now I give pencil and then pen. So it is length now, 6 minus 3 is 3. Next let us give the same input For example, mouse. So it is 0. So here I have CAT compared to ANT. So it is totally different. The first letter it is going to be C and then here A. The difference going to be these two is 2. The next one here, cell phone dot compared to cell pouch. So here -7 is answer. So until CELP it is same, and then here H and here O is compared. So here H is having smaller value, O is having bigger value, so it is in minus value. So -7, and then here I am comparing pencil and pen, we have already seen. So it is 3, and then here block and block, so both are same, it is going to be 0. How to apply these string functions in a program? We will learn how to reverse a word, and we will check whether the given word is palindrome or not. Palindrome word is a word that does not change even if we read in reverse also. The next we will see how to reverse a sentence. Before going to a program, let us learn the technique of reversing a word. Different people will have different level of thinking skills. You may think differently than I think. So here I am explaining two ways to reverse a string. Here I have a string called photo which is stored in variable called s1. So if I wanted to reverse it, I should take character by character and then I should add it in reverse order. For that we have to extract each character. We already know the index number of strings. So that is P will have 0, H will have 1, O 2, and then at last it is going to be 4. To extract each character and put it in reverse order, I use a loop, that is for loop. So here this I is for index. So index starts from 0. So I initialized as 0, and then it is going to end when it is lesser than the length. So the length will be 5, lesser than length, that is length minus 1. Instead of that I used lesser than. So it is not going to take 5, but it will take up to 4, which is lesser than 5. And then it is in ascending order. So I have used I plus plus. Every time I want to take one letter and then put it in reverse order, and then I have to store that in a new string. For that I need one more string I already initialized as s2 here. So here I have s2 is equal to character at I plus s2. Initially s2 is not having any value here. So character at I, in the beginning when I is equal to 0, it will be P. So P plus no value. So that s2 is added here, and then you are getting the result as s2 as P. And then when I's value increased to 1, s2 will have character at I, that is H here. So H plus P. And then when I is equal to 2, the character we are going to take is O, and then O plus HP. So it becomes OHP. So like that it is going to reverse one by one until I is equal to 4. At last it becomes O plus TOHP. So that is in reverse PHOTO. It is reversed now. When I is 5, then it becomes false, then it stops. This is one method. The other method is using for loop in reverse order. What I do here, I initialize as length minus 1. So that is 5 minus 1 will be 4. Initially it starts from 4, and then what I do until greater than or equal to 0. So I go in reverse order. So it is I minus minus. First it takes s2, which is nothing, plus character at I. So that is character at 4 it is going to take, and then it is going to add with s2. So you will have S2 as O, and then when I is 3, it is going to take T. So already S2's value is O plus T, it becomes O and T. When I is 2, then S2 is OT plus O, it becomes OTO. Then I is equal to 1, it becomes OTO plus H. Then I is equal to 0, S2 is equal to OTO H plus P. So this is also reversed. You can use any one of these method to reverse a word. So here when you go in ascending order, you will be using character at I plus S2. So you are adding the characters before S2. In case you are going backwards, that is from the last you are coming, you will have length minus 1, and then you will add that character at I after S2. These are main difference between these two, but however the answer is same. Let us go to a program and execute this. These codes I have ready-madely copied to take the input from the user. So now I have to give new string variable with the value nothing in it. Now I will have for loop. I have used here first method. So the new string s2 is equal to dot character at I plus s2. So this loop will reverse the word. Just after completing the loop, we will print this. Plus s2. So close the method, close the class. Compile this. So I give here laptop. So you can see LAPTOP, it is in reverse order. If S1 and S2 are equal, then we say palindrome word. So we don't need to print this. Let us simply check this. If S1 dot equals ignore case of S2. See, if we don't give this equals ignore case of, then if the user gives a mixed characters with uppercase and lowercase, then Java will not show as palindrome, though it is palindrome word. This is Boolean type, so we are checking whether it is true or not. If this is true, we say this is palindrome. Otherwise, we can say here S1 plus is palindrome. Else, we will say not a palindrome. Not a palindrome. Compile this. So I give here level, L-E-V-E-L. So a level is a palindrome. In case if we give L-E-V-E-L uppercase first letter, then also it will say level is palindrome because we ignored the case while checking. If we don't give this, see, let us cancel this equals So now it is only equals. Compile this. I give here madam, M-A-D-A-M. See, I mixed. M is capital, all others are small. So madam is not a palindrome. So to avoid this, we supposed to give here equals ignore case. We will change the for loop here as we saw in the second method. So int I is equal to s1 dot length of -1, and then I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus. So it is going to come in reverse. So we are going to take this out and then put that in the ending. So let us compile this also. Now I give radar. So radar is palindrome. Let me check with some other word which is not a palindrome. Key is not a palindrome. Let us do a program to reverse a sentence now. Reversing word and reversing sentence is different. If we reverse the sentence using the same technique, what it is going to happen? So every alphabet in a sentence will change to its opposite position. Every word will get reversed. So to straighten the word, we will use this in the beginning, so it will not reverse the word. So I cut this here and then put it here plus S2. So now we should identify a word. So when it can identify as a word means if there is space with that word. So from the ending it starts coming backwards when it finds the space, and then let us stop and print the word, and then again let us go to the next word, and then when it comes to the first word there will not be a space given by the user. For that we supposed to add one space with the input. So we will do it here. S1 is equal to, see, single space plus S1. So the new string S1 is with the space in the beginning. So here we will have the condition S1 dot character at I is equal to space. So this is a character data type here. So we will put it in single quotation to check. So we give one space. Then what it will do? It will print the word and then S2 becomes again nothing. So that is for a new word again. So S2 is equal to, so these are remaining codes which we used for palindrome. Just I delete this. Let us compile this. No syntax error. So I give, this is a book. Okay, we have given print line, so it has printed in next line. Let us give here print. So you can see here it is reversed. Dear students, to print number of digits present before and after the decimal point of a double type number. First, I will explain the idea of finding digits before and after decimal point of a number. So here the number is given as double type. For example, I have 345.6721. So here the output should be the number of digits available before the decimal point. So that is 3 here, and then after the decimal point, that is 4 in this example. For this, we take a double type number, and then what we do is convert into a string type. We already learnt about wrapper class. Using wrapper class, we will convert this double type into string type. So if we write this string function, this double type number will get converted into string type. Now we can easily find how many characters are there before this decimal point using the index value, and also we can find the number of characters after this decimal point. This number I will take it as an example number 1. So here we have the index for this string now. See, number of digits before decimal point, after decimal point. Index always start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 2 will be the index number of ones place. So later that you will get a dot, that is a decimal point. As it is starting from 0, if we take the index of this point, that is dot, then we will have the number of digits before the decimal point. So we can extract the index of dot there. But if we want to know the number of digits after this decimal point, then what we can do? Total number of digits present here minus digits present before the decimal point. Otherwise, we can do last index minus index of point. Instead of this, we say length minus 1 minus index of point, so that we can get the result. So that is 8 minus 1, that is the 7 is the last index here. Then 7 minus index of this dot is 3. So 7 minus 3 becomes 4. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 digits are there. So here in this first example, I have index of dot is 3. So 3 characters or 3 digits are present before the decimal point, and for number of digits after the decimal point, we take the total length of this, that is 8, minus 1 is the last index, that is 7, minus the index of this dot, that is 3. So we get 4. See, there are 4 decimal places. Let us check with another example. Here I have another number. So index of this dot is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers are present there before the decimal point. And then here there are 3 digits after the point. So what we do? The total length of this is 9. Minus 1 is the last index we get. 9 minus 1, that is 8, minus index of dot is 5. So we get 3 as the answer. So this is the logic of extracting the number of digits present before and after the decimal point. This is an good example program how to convert from double type to a string type. Let us go to the program. Now I will have double type input. Double D is equal to double dot parse double of br dot read line of. As we are having IO dot star here, we will have throws IO exception. So whatever we have taken the number as D, we will convert into string. So we will give string. Let us have S is equal to the wrapper class double dot to string of that D which we have used. To store the value of digits before the decimal point, I will have integer variable called b, int b, that is before s dot index of the character dot. To store after the decimal point, I have int a is equal to last index we are arriving by 1 lesser than the length. So, s dot length of -1 minus b. Let us print both the results. So, before I have b plus digits, maybe single. So, digit I put s in the bracket, digits before the decimal point. Compile this. I give some number. So, 3 digits before the decimal point, 4 digits after the decimal point. Count the number of words in a sentence and print the initial of the name. To take the input, let us import the package. We are going to write the program to count the number of words in the sentence. So, class throws IO exception. Let us create the variables we need. String variable str to take the sentence from the user. Then to count we need int count. When we need to count, we have to give the initial value as 0, so that counting always starts from 0. Let us create the object for the buffered reader class. Instead of creating object for the input stream reader and then buffered reader object, we can also create in this way. So, that is buffered reader br is equal to new buffered reader of new input stream reader of, then system.in. So, again we close this. So, we can do it in two statement differently, otherwise we can also do using this type of statement. We have given a space here, that should not be there. So, let us prompt the user to give the input. Sentence. So, we can give print instead of print line. So, now assigning the input str is equal to br dot. You know that each word is separated by the space. So, after a word there will be a space. If we count the space, then this word is being counted. Same like that, we will keep on counting the number of space, but at last when we see, there won't be a space given by the user. So, at that time what we do, we add one more space after getting the input from the user. but by mistake user also gives the space after the full stop. Then what we can do, we can trim it using trim function, so that the extra spaces before and after the sentence will get trimmed. So let us give here dot trim off. Now what we do, str is equal to str plus one space we add. Now we go to the condition inside the for loop. We will create the for loop for int I is equal to 0, I is lesser than str dot length of I plus plus. So if character at, that is str dot character at I is equal to, so character type should be given inside the single quotation. So we check for one single space. Then what we do, we increase the count plus plus, we increase by 1. So until the last index it will keep on doing. After it becomes false, it will come out of the for loop. So we will print the number of count here. Plus count. In case if we give this inside this for loop, then it will print every time it counts. We don't need that. Let us compile this. No syntax error. Java is very interesting. So we have 4 words here. So number of words in a sentence 4. Let us create another class, initials. I will copy the codes from the previous one. So this is program to print the initials of the given name. So here I change the class name. We are not going to count anything here, so let me delete this and then enter a name with first, middle and last name. So we don't need to trim here. So here we want to print the first character of every name given. So first character means we can count the space, after that the next character we can take. But when the user gives the input, there will not be space in the beginning. What we do here is going to add the space before the string. So let us delete this and then I am going to add here. Now the character after the space we are going to extract and then take it as a new word. So for the new word I give a new variable, string variable str1. So initially it should be without any value. So now I give the for loop. I is lesser than str dot length of, then I plus plus. So I am going to give the condition if str dot character at I is equal to I am checking for space. So one single quote, then one space I have given. So if it is so, then I am going to add to the next letter to the string 1. str1 is equal to str dot character at I plus 1. So I is space, the plus 1 is the next character. So it will extract the next character here. This is added with the new string str1 plus. Now let us print the new string. Initials of given name, you can say of given name plus str1. So let us close the method and close the class. Compile this, no syntax error. So I give Vamshi Krishna Gupta CVKG, it has come. We have not given any extra character there, so we can assign here a full stop there. So we can add with this plus a dot, otherwise one space. So compile this, right, computer aided. Let us understand why we need array. Think about, we need to store 50 students details, that is 50 students name, their subject marks for 10 subjects, and we are also storing the average of each student. How many variables we require? To store names, 50 variables we require. To store 10 subject marks of 50 students, then 10 into 50 we require 500 variables. To store average, again we need 50 variables. So totally we may require 600 variables. Can you remember all these variables? Can you handle these variables easily? No. So we use arrays. If we use arrays, just we need to have 3 array variables. One is for to storing the names, second is to the marks of the subjects, and then third is for to store average. Let us understand more how it is going to store these variables. Think about sets or matrix in mathematics. Same like that, when I declare an array, I store same type of elements. Here I have names as array, so I will be storing all the string variables. Just for example, name 1, name 2 up to name 10. I can have one more array to store the marks of the students. Here I store 10 marks of a student in a first row, and then the second student's mark will be in the second row. Like that, I keep on storing all the 10 students' marks of 10 subjects each. So now you can imagine this as matrix in mathematics. To store the average, I have one more array. Here I store average of these first row as first element of this array, and then the second row's average I store here. Like that, again I have 10 elements of the array. See here, the first array is having only single row, so then this is called single dimensional array. Here I have 10 rows and 10 columns. This is called double dimensional array. Again, to store average, I have single dimensional array. This is to just visualize about how array values are stored in the array. Let us learn how to create an array. We have two steps to declare an array. First, we give data type and then name of the array and then array symbol we terminate. If it is an ordinary variable, then we won't have this array symbol. This is only the difference to declare an array and ordinary variable. This will create only array. To allocate the memory for that array, again we have the next step, that is name of the array. Whatever we have given here will be given equal to new keyword is used, one space, and then the data type already which we have done here, same data type we will have, and then the size of the array is given. The size of the array means how many elements we are going to store in that particular array. That is also called length of that array. Here is an example. To store temperature, I create an array that is integer type. So int one space and then temp, and then array symbol I give, I terminate this. This is the first step. The next step, I have temp is equal to new space integer type, that is int, and then the size is given inside the array symbol, that is 20. So here now I will have array to store 20 elements. These two steps can be combined in a single statement like this. That is data type space name of the array, then open the square bracket, close the square bracket, is equal to new data type, again the size. Or I also can have data type, the array symbol can be here, and then again array name equal to new data type of size. Whether the array symbol is here or here, that doesn't make any difference, both are right. So here in a single line I have int space temp array symbol is equal to new int of 20. So total number of elements an array can store is called length of that array. So this is the length of that array. Now let us understand how we can store the values in that array. If we have integer type of array of size 10, array allows you to store 10 integer values continuously. So every block is addressed with unique address. This address is the index number. So to refer each block of memory, index number is used. Here I have an integer array which can store 10 integer values. Here each block is allocated with size of integer variable. So that is 4 bytes for integer. So each block is given with a unique address, that is index number. So the index number always will start from 0. First block will have index number as 0. Then second block will have index number as 1. Third will have 2, so on, like that we will have up to 9. So if we have an array of 10 in size, the last index number will be 9. So that is 1 lesser than the array length. Now how do we store the value in that particular block? To store the value in first block, that is which is having index number as 0, we will indicate inside this symbol. So that means address of that index. For example, we have ARR of 0. So that is the index number, and then I have given 84 as value. So 84 goes and stores in this place. Same like that, if I give ARR of 1 and then 70 is the value, 70 will get stored like this. So all other values I just store So at last the 9th index, that is 10th memory allocation, 62 is been stored. Even this address, so that is index number, can also be used to retrieve the data from that block. So remember, index number always starts from 0. Index number is also called subscript. So the index number what we have here is also called subscript. Then the last index is always one lesser than the size of the array. That is, last index is equal to length minus 1. Let us learn how to calculate memory size of an array. So total allocated memory of an array depends on its data type and number of elements present in it. We know the data types memory size. Byte will have 1 byte, short 2 byte, integer will have 4, long 8 bytes, float 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, and then character 2 bytes. If we have an array of integer, the size of that array is 5. Then how do we calculate the memory of an array? Number of elements, that is 5, into size in bytes. So that is 4 here. So 5 into 4 is equal to 20 bytes. Let us see another example. Here we have character array which is having 8 elements. So 8 into 2 is equal to 16 bytes is the memory size of that array. Let us learn how to create array in a program. Creating array as a class name. Class creating array. So now let me declare an array of integer type. Int, let me have the name of the array as height. So I am going to store the height of students is equal to, so after height we supposed to give array symbol, open square bracket, close the square bracket, and then we should give new keyword, and then again the data type, that is int of the size we are going to say here is as 20. Now array is declared. How to store the value in that array? We can have name of the array, inside the square bracket we will give 0 as first index. So that is the address of that array is equal to, I am storing 156. Same like that, index 1 is equal to 165. Now third element, 2 is equal to 143. Height of, so here fourth element index will be 3 is equal to 172. Then fifth element, that is address will be 4, that is index number is 4 is equal to 180. So let us have just 5 instead of 20. Let us reduce this. So I have 5. So I have stored all the values. Let us print and check. How to print this? We can print it in single statement. So we will be giving the address of the element, which is like this. I'll copy this, paste it here. So plus, I give one space, otherwise we won't be able to identify. I give space, or even we can give comma. Let me give comma. So like this, I will give all 5 elements to print. So here it is 1, then here it is 2, this is 3, here 4. So we have given all the address to print. Let us compile this. No syntax error. So we will run and check whether it is printing or not. So you can say it is printed. So here, instead of giving like this one by one all the elements in different statement to store, we can also use a for loop for this. See, let us delete all these. I will have for. So the index always starts from 0. So int I is equal to 0 I give, then I is lesser than or equal to 4 because the index is 4 at last. Otherwise, just directly we can give lesser than 5, that is lesser than the length of that array, and then terminate I plus plus. So now I am going to take input for this from the user. So I will have here import java.util.scanner. So I will create an object for that. Scanner obj is equal to new scanner of system.in. Now we will prompt the user. 5 integer elements. So this is going to be given only once. So it is not inside the for loop. This scanner class I have already taught you in the third video tutorial. So you can watch and learn if you are not familiar with this. So here I open and close the bracket. Inside I write name of the array is here height of. See, instead of giving the index 1, 2, 3 like that, I am going to give I. So it starts from 0 and then up to 4 is equal to the object name obj dot next int of. So it will store the values given by the user in each block. Now let us compile this. No syntax error. So directly we can give the values now. Enter the integer elements now. So I just give 150, 145, 175, 185, 165. So you can see that all these are printed. And then again, when we give the output, this also can be done using for loop. It will be easy instead of giving these many times. So what I do here, again I create a for loop. Int I is equal to 0. Again we can give I because scope of this I get over when this for get closed is equal to I is lesser than 5 I plus plus. So what I do here, I will just print only this much, and then here I say I. If this is a single statement, even we don't need to open and close the bracket. So let us compile this. No syntax error. So enter the elements. So you can see that again it is been printed. We have given print line, so it is printed in next line. If we give here print, and then it will print in the same line. So you can see that it is given. If we take user input like that, then we need to create and declare array like this. Instead of this, if it is a fixed number of elements and the elements are also given inside the program, we have another way to give. So let us cancel which are not needed. Delete this, and then we are not taking any of this. Even this I am not going to have. Only printing statement I have. So how we can give here? We can have flower bracket. Inside this we can give the details of array. For example, 145, 149, 154, 149, one more, 155. This is directly initializing the array. So again, if we need to print, we can give it in a for loop and then we can print. Compile this, no syntax error. So you can say this, it is printed. Let us revise. Definition: array is a named collection of similar elements that holds a fixed number of elements. So we cannot change the length of the array once if it is declared, and then all the elements will be the same data type. We cannot have different data type in a single array. Total number of elements an array can store is called the length of that array. Every block of memory within the array has a unique address which is called index number. We can use index number to assign values to particular block of memory, and also we can retrieve the values for that particular block of memory. Once an array is declared, it can be initialized any time by assigning the value to that array. Index number always starts from 0. So we know length of the array is 1 greater than the last index, otherwise last index is 1 lesser than the length. Index number is also called subscripts. The total allocated memory of an array depends on its data type and the number of elements present in it. We will learn passing array as an argument, getting length of an array, and out of bounds exception in array. I will demonstrate passing array as an argument through a program. Passing array I give. Class passing array. I create a method static void passing as array name, and then I will give the integer array to pass. So int name of the array I give as a and array symbol. Here I am not supposed to give size of the array, because when it receives array elements, automatically it will assign the length of the array. We can give the array values in the arguments itself. So after giving the values, let us sum up all the values in that array. So I need a variable to sum. Int sum is equal to 0 as initial value. So we need to take each and every element from that array. So what we can do, we can give a for loop for from 0th index, whatever is stored up to the last index, we have to take all the elements to sum. So int I is equal to 0. I assume we are going to give 5 elements. I is lesser than 5. So that is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. I plus plus. To get the sum, I give sum is equal to sum plus a of I. I terminate this. So it will take element from 0th element to the last element, that is 4th element. Then I will print the sum after the loop. Plus sum. Let me compile this. No syntax error. When I give the value for that array, I must give inside the flower bracket. So as I assigned 5 elements. So I will give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, each separated with commas. Okay. Here I have given loop variable will go up to 5 iterations. But in case user gives less or more, what happens? Let us see. Again let us run this. Now I give just 3 elements 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you can see it has come back to the program and it shows java.lang.arrayIndex out of bounds exception. This error happens when the loop tries to get the element which is not available in the array. So that means we have given only 3 elements, that is 0, 1 and 2. When it is trying to get the third element from the array, it is not available. So automatically it shows out of bounds exception. So we should match number of iterations in the loop to the last index of that array. In this case, we were not knowing the length of that array. So at that time, we can take the length of array by using length function. To find the length of array, we write name of the array dot length and we terminate. For example, if we have array called ARR, then we initialize the value like this. To find the length of this, we can write ARR dot length and then we terminate. If we wanted to store this length in a variable, then we can initialize the variable int L is equal to, because the length is in integer, ARR dot length. So automatically length of that array will be stored in variable called L. Here in the example we have 8 elements. So L will be 8. Let us go back to the program. So now here we can have one more variable called length and then we initialize this as L is equal to, A is the name of the array dot length, then we terminate. So automatically the length of the array given is stored in L. So we will give, instead of constant here, we will give L. So now no matter how much ever element is given there in the argument, it is taken. So let us run this. Now I give 6 elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so it could show the result. Now I will demonstrate another program where we take the input from the user for the array and then we pass that array to the other method, maybe the same method. So to take the input, I will have import java.io.star and then we terminate. So I will have another method, static void input of. As we have imported IO class, I will give throws IO exception. So let me declare first a integer array variable. I will take it as class variable, static int array called b. So is equal to new int of maybe size 10. Now to take input, let us create the buffer reader object. Of new input stream reader of system dot in, then we close terminate. We will prompt the user system dot out dot println of, we say input 10 integer array element. To take 10 elements, I will have for loop int I is equal to 0, I is lesser than, we can give lesser than 10, otherwise lesser than b dot length, then I plus plus. Now even if we change the value of this also not a problem. So I give now 4. So again we don't need to change here as lesser than 4 and all. So better always we will say the length here in the for loop. So let us assign the value b of I is equal to integer dot parse int of br dot read line of. So now this method takes the elements for the array called b. Now we will pass this value to this method. How? We will write the main method, public static void main of string of arguments, then we will say throws IO exception. So we have to create object for that class. So class name, passing array, and then object name obj I give. Obj is equal to new passing passing array of. So now I will call the methods. First I will call the method which is input method, so that we will take the input for that array b. So I will write obj dot input of. Now I will call passing method. So obj dot passing of. See here I have taken values for array b. I will pass this value to the method here. So I write here b, then terminate. Let us again change this to 10 itself. Now compile this. No syntax error. We have to run the main method. So it is asking 10 inputs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and then 10. We already know it will be 55. So let us check whether it is right or wrong. So sum of all the elements given array is 55. To print only even elements from an array, to print sum of even elements and odd elements, to print the count of even and odd elements, to print smallest number and largest number from an array. Let us create a program. Print even. import java.io.star class print even. Let me declare an array, integer type, name of the array arr of is equal to new int of, I will give size as 10. Prompt the user. To take 10 elements, I will give a for loop. Int I is equal to 0, I is lesser than, we can say arr dot length, then I plus plus. So arr of I is equal to integer dot parse int of br dot read line of, then we terminate this. So now we have taken input for that array, so that is 10 elements we have taken. Now let us give a line outside the loop saying following are even elements. So system dot out dot print line of So now we have to check the elements one by one whether the element is even or not. To access each element, again we will give a for loop. Let us copy the same for loop. We already know how to find even numbers. If the number is divisible by 2, that is without remainder, then we say the number is even number. So to get the remainder, we will use percentage symbol, that is modulus. Let us give that in the condition arr of I modulus 2 equal to 0. So it divides by 2 and gets the remainder. If remainder is 0, then what we will do? We will print the element. So system dot out dot print line of, we say arr of I, terminate. If we need the elements to be printed in the same line, we can cancel this and then we can add one comma or space with this. So I will add one space here. So let us compile this, no syntax error. So enter 10 elements, 45, 3, 7, 84, 96, 12, 15, 17, 21, 18. So we can see here only even numbers are printed. Now program to get the sum of even number and sum of odd number. So I will give sum even odd as a class name. So before this I will import java.io.star. Rest of the code I will copy from the previous program. So even we can copy from here to here. We don't need this line. Let us delete this. So after entering all the numbers, we will again have a for loop. If it is even number, we will add it to even sum. So for that we need a variable. Even for odd sum we need a variable. So let us give int sum of even equal to 0 initially, then sum of odd also 0 initially. Now we have already checked whether it is even or not. If it is even, we will add with this sum of even. So SE equal to SE plus ARR of I. Otherwise we can also give plus equal to here, plus equal to, and then else, otherwise sum of odd plus equal to ARR of I. So then we close this for loop. See, if it is true, that is even number, then it will add with the sum of even. Otherwise it should be odd number, automatically it will add with this variable. So now we have to print the sum of even and sum of odd. Sum of even numbers from given array plus SE. So here odd number, so this will be SO. Now we will close the method and then class. Just compile this, no syntax error. To check the right result, I will give the sequence of number. Just I will give 1, 2, 3 only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So even numbers total is 30 and odd numbers total is 25. You can check. Next we will learn counting number of even elements and number of odd elements. So count even, odd I give. I will copy whole program from the previous program. Here instead of taking the sum of even numbers and sum of odd numbers, just we are going to count. So let us change the variable name, count even number, then count odd number. So initially the count is 0 for both. So if this is true, then what we will do, we will just increase the count of even number, CE plus plus. Else what we will do, we will increase the count of odd number, CO plus plus. So now we are going to print number of even numbers of given array, that is CE. Here number of odd numbers of given array, that is CO. Let us change the class name. I give count. Compile this. No syntax error. Let us run this. Any number let us give 11, 15, 18, 20, 48, 65, 71, 03, minus 11, minus 32. Let us count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are odd numbers. So remaining 4 will be even numbers. Next program to find the smallest and largest element of that array. I will copy again the code from the previous one. I will copy until this. I will change the class name. Largest, smallest. Let us have double type of array. So I will change this double, again here also double. So instead of counting here, I will have the smallest element and the largest element. So again I will change, even the data type of the smallest also will be, smallest or largest also will be double type itself. So double, instead of CE, largest, and then here smallest. So we cannot initiate as 0 in case the user gives negative numbers, so it cannot be 0. So I will take a element from array itself. So let us take just first element itself, this ARR of 0, that is index. Same like that, smallest also let us take first elements itself, ARR of 0. Now I will give the condition to find the largest element of that array. It takes all the element of that array, that is ARR of I, and then if it is greater than largest. Sometimes it is also possible to be same number, so we will give greater than or equal to also. So if this is true, I will assign the element to the variable largest. So largest is equal to ARR of I. Now I close the for loop. So now I will search for smallest one. So again we will have the same loop. Now we are going to find the smallest one. So we will have lesser than or equal to smallest. So if it is true, the element will go to smallest. Now let us print the largest and smallest elements. So I copy this. Largest element is plus largest. So here smallest element is smallest. Let us close the method, close the class. compile this. We have done a mistake here while typing the variable. It should be capital L. Here also should be capital L. Let us check. Here we have given capital, so here also should be capital. So we should be very careful while writing this. Then okay, so here we have given double, but in the previous program it was integer. So let us change this. Double, here also double. Any other error? Let us compile and check. No syntax error now. So enter 10 elements. 31.01 minus 63.12, 45, 39.47, 0.002, 85.0045, 11.11111, 37, 48.23, 0.4. So we can see here the largest number which I have given at the last, the least number is minus 63.12. So it is right. Searching elements in an array. Let us know what is search. The process of checking a particular value in an array refers to search. If the value is present in the array, then index number of that element will be displayed. For example, we have array called A and then these are the elements. If we search for value 7 and then it is available in 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5th index number. So we will print it is available at index number 5. If we see search techniques, we have commonly used two techniques, that is linear search and binary search. Linear search, each element of the array is compared one by one with the given value to be searched. This will be done until the value is found. Otherwise, this will continue until the last index. This technique is also called sequential search technique. Let us learn the linear search technique. Before starting the search, we will initialize a variable as false, that is Boolean type variable. So Boolean flag, I have given the variable name here and then I initialized as false. Flag is the common variable name which we use in the search technique. For example, if I have an array like this, for your better understanding, I have also displayed index number here. Let us imagine that we are searching for value 54 here. Linear search will search by comparing the element of first index to the last index. So value in index number 0 will be compared with the given value. Then it is false here. It will go to the next index number, that is 1, and then it is comparing, again it is false. So it will keep on comparing like this, it becomes false. Third one, it is false. Fourth one, again it will be false. Fifth one also, it is false. Now sixth one, it is true. When the search is successful, then we print the index number of the element which is available. And then we assign that flag as true. When search is successful, and then we don't need to check for the rest of the elements. So what we do, we break using the break statement. If no elements are matched with the given value, value of flag will be false. It never gets changed into true. So if it is false, then we print element not found. This is how linear search technique works. Let us create a program. I will demonstrate. Let us create a class. Before that, I will keep ready copying the codes from the previous program. So I copied the codes until we take the input. I will change the class name here. Then we are taking the double type of array. Okay, let it be as double type. Then we don't need to have this variable. Instead of that, we need a Boolean variable which is initialized as false. So Boolean flag is equal to false. After taking the input, we have to start searching for the element. Before that, we have to get the element which we are searching for. So let us prompt the user to give the input for the element which we are searching. So let me have only print. Elements are double type, so we give double. S is the variable. We store the value to be searched is equal to double dot parse double of br dot read line of. Then we terminate. Now we give the for loop. Int I is equal to 0. I is lesser than the length of the array. So we can give arr dot length I plus plus. So from the index number 0 until the last index, it will keep on searching. So we give the condition here, if the element, that is arr of I, is equal to the value which we are searching for, that is S. So it will search one by one until it gets. If this is true, we will print system dot out dot print line of element found at index equal to plus index will be I. Then turn the flag as true. Flag is equal to true. Then we will break it. So we don't need to search anymore. This is when it finds the element which we are searching for. If it is not finding, it will keep on searching until the end, but still the flag will remain false itself. So after completing the search, we will say if it is not found, if flag is equal to false. If it remains same, then we say system dot out dot print line of element not found. Then we will close the method, close the class. I will compile this, no syntax error. I will give 10 values. So let me give the value which is available here, 5457.65. Let me check before. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7th is the index number of this number. So I give enter. So element found at index 7. Let me run once again. So I am searching which is not available. Element not found. If we are having string elements, so let us change this and learn. So I am having string type of array. So array length I give just 5, and then here when we check this, we will not have equal to. Instead of that, we will check dot equals of yes. If we need to ignore the case, we can give equals ignore case of, and then here we will not have all these. So we have only br.readline of to take the input, and also searching element, this is string. So let us compile this, no syntax error. So let us run this. So I will be giving keyboard, mouse, pen drive, laptop. Then I give printer. Enter the value to be searched. I give mouse. So element found at index 1, 0, 1. Binary search in array. Binary search works only for sorted array. It may be sorted by ascending order or descending order. In this type of search, search value is compared with middle element of array. If the value matches with the middle element, then search gets completed. If the match is not found at the middle element, again it will search with middle element of first half, otherwise second half. It depends on the searching value or sorting of the array. For example, if the value being searched is lesser than the middle element, then it gets performed only in the first half. This is in the ascending order array. If the value being searched is greater, then it will perform in the second half of the array. This process will keep on repeating until the element is found or until search get completed. If element is not found, then search will get completed when first index number is equal to the last index number. We will understand this by few examples. Later, once again we will come to this and then we will read. So I have array, integer array having the values like this. Let us search for element 23. So for your reference, I have given index numbers, starts from 0 and the last index number here is 11. Now it should find the middle index number, and then for that whichever element is there, it will compare with that element. How the middle element is found is like mathematics. We will take the first index and the last index. We add both and divide by 2. Automatically we will get the mean. So that is the middle index we will get. For your better understanding, I have matched first index last index, even the middle index with the colors. Please follow the colors also so that it will be easy for you to understand. For the first time, the search will be in the whole array. So it takes the first index as 0, last index as 11 here, and then we will add first index and last index divided by 2. So we will be getting 5.5. Index number cannot be 5.5, so we leave the decimal part and then take only the integer part. Here in the program also, it will do automatically implicit conversion, that is integer divided by integer, it gives only the integer value as quotient. Now in the middle element 37 is there. So we are searching for 23. It is lesser than 37. So when it is sorted array, there is no meaning in searching this second half, because what we are searching will be in the first half only, because search element is lesser than the middle element. So it will not search in the second half. Now the middle element is already compared. So remaining segment, that is index from 0 to 4 only we have to search. So here first index remains as 0 itself, but the last index instead of 11 it should be 4. We already found middle element as 5. So what we do, middle element minus 1 will give the next last index. So in round 2 we will have first index as 0, last index as 4. So 0 plus 4 divided by 2, we will get 2 as the result. So in 2, 23 is available, which is equal to which we are searching. So what happens? Search becomes successful and then it will print the index number of that element. Let us see next example. I have a new array here after removing the last element of that previous array. So let us search for element 51. I have the index number from 1 to 10. So at round 1, the first index number will be 0 and the last index number will be 10. So middle element we find 0 plus 10 divided by 2, we get exact 5. At index number 5, I have 37. So 51 is greater than 37. So no meaning in the searching first half. So automatically it will search in the second half. First index of the new segment is arrived by adding 1 with the middle element. So it becomes 6. Last index remains unchanged. So now we get 6 plus 10 divided by 2, that is 16 divided by 2, we get 8 as middle element of this segment. At index 8, 54 is available. 51 is lesser than 54. So it is not necessary to search the second half again. Now the first index remains same. The last index will be middle index minus 1, that is 8 minus 1. So now for round 3, the new value of middle index will be 6 plus 7 divided by 2, that is 6.5. Here again we will take only the integer part, that is 6 as index. So at index 6, 45 is available. So 51 is greater than 45. First half we don't need to search. To get the first index, we add middle index plus 1, we get 7. And the last index is also 7. See, now first index is also 7, last index is also 7. If the element is not found at this index, then search also will stop. Let us check. 7 plus 7 divided by 2 will be 7 itself. So we get 51 here. 51 which is we are looking for. It becomes successful. If some other element is at that place, and then it becomes unsuccessful, as first element and last element both are same index. Let us go to one more example. Index number of this array is 0 to 11. So let me search for element 11. At round 1, first index is 0 and last index is 11. So we will have middle element as 0 plus 11 by 2 as 5.5. Only integer part of this we will take. So we will take 5. At 5, 33 is the value available. 11 is lesser than 33. So greater than the middle element index numbers, we don't need to search. The first index of new segment of array will be 0. The last index will be middle index minus 1, that is 4. So at round 2, 0 plus 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. Element at index number 2 is 23, which is again lesser than 11. So the first half will be searched, second half we don't need to search. First index remains the same, last index is middle index minus 1. So that becomes 1. So at round 3, 0 plus 1 divided by 2, it will be 0.5. So we take only 0. At 0, 11 is available, which is equal to the element which we are searching for. So search becomes successful. I will give you the last example where the search element is not available. So example 4. I am searching for 53, which is not available in this array. So here the first index is 0, last index is 10. So we get 5 as answer. At 5 we have 37. 53 is greater than 37. So it will not search in the first half. First element becomes middle element plus 1. Last index remains same. Now at round 2, 6 plus 10 by 2, it becomes 8 again. At index 8, 54 is available. 53 is lesser than 54. So the second half will not get searched. Now the first index remains same. Last index is middle index minus 1. So that is 7. So at round 3, 6 plus 7 divided by 2, it is 6.5. So it will take only integer, that is 6. At 6, 45 is available. 45 is lesser than 53. So we don't need to search in the first half. So index number of first element will be middle index plus 1, that is 6 plus 1 is equal to 7. And the last index also 7. So at round 4, 7 plus 7 divided by 2 is equal to 7. So at index 7, 51 is available. Again, which is not correct, being first index and last index are same, search stops. Then it becomes unsuccessful. Students, when we do manually, we will do like this, but when we do a program, all this round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, all will be done in the loop. So it will be very easy to write the program. Just we need to understand how we change the first index and last index and which segment to be searched. Let us do a program. As usual, I will copy codes from the previous program until we take the input. I will create a new class called binary search. I change the name of the class. Here we need 3 variables. Instead of this, we will have first index is 0 as default, and then last index in the beginning it will be 1 lesser than the length of array, that is ARR dot length minus 1, and also we need middle index, that is M. Here we take the input. After taking the input, user will also give the element to be searched. So for that, then I assign the value int s is equal to integer dot parse int of br dot read line of. Now we need a loop to perform, but we don't know the exact number of iterations it is going to happen. So we cannot use for loop. Instead of that, we will use while loop. What condition here we can give? The first index always will be lesser than last index, and it will search until first index becomes last index, that is both index becomes same. So we will give the condition here, first index is lesser than or equal to last index. First we need to find the middle index. So middle index is equal to first index plus last index divided by 2. Do not forget to put this first index plus last index inside the bracket, otherwise it will give other meaning, that is L divided by 2, and then it will add with the first index, then it will not work. After finding the middle element, we will compare element of that index. For that we will give if condition. If, so which we are searching is S equal to ARR of that middle index M. So if this is true, we can print the index number where it is available. So system dot out dot print line of element is available at index, that is M is the index, so M we will print. And then we should have a boolean type variable, so we have not given that, we will give here boolean flag is equal to false as default value. So now it will become true, flag is equal to true, and then we can break the loop. Else if condition, if search is greater than ARR of M, then what we do, we will not search in the first part of that array. So first index will become F is equal to middle index plus 1, else automatically it will be S will be lesser than ARR of M. So now what we do, last index will be middle index minus 1. So this will keep on repeating until F is equal to L. So if it is false, then it comes out of the loop. Now we can print if flag is equal to false. Otherwise this we can also write flag is not equal to false. So not we can write here. Then we will print system dot out dot print line of element not found. So now we will close the method, close the class. Let us compile. No syntax error. We will run this. I will give 1, 6, 9, 23. It should be sorted. So we should give the greater value only. 67, 86, 90, 112, 156, 178. So which we are looking for, maybe 6. So element is available at index 1. Let us run once again. 1, 5, 9, 23, 56, 478, 598, 634, 700, 841. So let us search for 841. So element is available at index 9. So that is one lesser than the length, last index. So in case it is in descending order, how we can do it? Instead of S is greater than ARR of M, we will just change into lesser than ARR of M. So automatically the whole process reverses. Let us check. No syntax error. I give 987, 876, 654, 543, 432, 210, 112, 110, 108, 95. So let us search for 432. So it is at index 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us run once again. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 5, 3, 1, minus 10, minus 12, minus 15. So let me check. Minus 12. It is available at index 8. So students, it is clear. Now let us learn how to search in string type of array. So I will change the array type. So let me change this as 6. And then when we take the input, we will have only br.readline of, and then even this will be string type. And then taking the input will be br.readline of. Here in the condition, instead of equal to, we will use dot CompareTo, which gives the integer type output, checks lexicographically. String functions I have already explained in the previous lessons. You can check there. S dot CompareTo, then this will be inside the bracket, which is equal to 0. Here again we will have the same thing when it is greater than 0. Greater than 0 is for ascending order of that array. That is, ASCII value of first letter of the string which we are comparing is greater than the middle element. So we will get the positive value which is greater than 0. So at that time we will not compare the first half of the array. So it becomes first index will be middle index plus 1. In case it is descending order array, then we will change the symbol to lesser than 0. Let us compile this. Let me give Anant, Balu, Chetan, Dhanabal, Ishwar, Joshua. So we will search for Ishwar. It is available at index 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 5 is the last index. In case it is in descending order, we change this into lesser than symbol. Compile. I give Windows, Unix, Office, Microsoft, Excel, DOS. Let me check for Unix. So element is available at index 1. Here we had given 10 elements. It remained, we didn't change at all. So it was 6, right? We can give 6. I should give in the descending order. So let me give HP, Logitech, Lenovo, Epson, Dell, Acer. Let me check for Dell. So element is available at index 4. It is right. Students, let us revise the points once again.
Thank you, students.